What happens when humans play God? For centuries, there has been an unspoken rule that no human should dare call themselves God, that there should never try to do those that are reserved for God. And for centuries, playing God was a line no human dared cross. But now we can create life, and it is not just a matter of we can. We are actively creating life from scratch, from the cells that make up our bodies. We can even now pick and choose the traits we wish to see in ourselves. I mean, have you ever heard of designer babies? We can also bring back those who have parted away from this life. So what exactly is stopping us from playing God? To play God is to control life itself, from birth, death, genetics, and even consciousness. For the first time in history, we have the tools to do exactly that. There is a specific case that took China by storm. In 2018, Chinese scientist He Jiankui announced the birth of twin girls, pseudonymously named Lulu and Nana. However, these were not normal two girls. What made them different was that their genomes were edited using CRISPR technology. Jiankui had initially recruited couples where the father was HIV positive and the mother was HIV negative. His main goal was to make babies that are resistant to HIV by disabling the CCR5 gene, which the virus uses to enter human cells. And he was somewhat successful. Through in vitro fertilization, he created embryos and used CRISPR-Cas9 to edit the CCR5 gene. The edited embryos were then implanted into the mother's wombs, leading to the births of the gene-edited babies. And he was somewhat successful. Through in vitro fertilization, he created embryos and used CRISPR-Cas9 to edit the CCR5 gene. The edited embryos were then implanted into the mother's wombs, leading to the births of the gene-edited babies. The research did not reach its full potential as the gene editing was incomplete and potentially unsafe. He attempted to disable the CCR5 gene, which some people naturally lack and are resistant to HIV. The edits were also not precise or consistent. The twins, Lulu and Nana, had different mutations, and neither had the exact natural CCR5 deletion known to confer HIV resistance. One twin was a mosaic, meaning only some of her cells carried the mutation. That means parts of her body could still be vulnerable to HIV. And we don't know if either girl is actually resistant to HIV today. And we may never know unless it's tested under risky conditions. Whether this idea is good is up to you. However, He Jiankui was arrested and imprisoned for 3 years and fined 3 million yuan for illegal medical practices. Still, this was just one case that was found. And if one scientist can do this, can we really go against nature to eliminate hereditary conditions like Huntington's, sickle cell anemia, and cystic fibrosis, and potentially prevent children born from HIV patients from suffering the same fate? But there are also downsides to this. There are some unintended consequences that could arise. One small edit could cause unknown health issues years later. What starts with disease prevention could easily move to selecting for intelligence, beauty, height, thus leading to social inequality. Also, babies can't consent to being experimented on. It could also bring about genetic class divide. Wealthy families could afford better genes, thus deepening inequality. We can also now create cells. All we need is just chemicals. Artificial cells are synthetic structures designed to mimic biological cells and their functions. They are created using a variety of materials, including lipids, polymers, and other synthetic components, and can be endowed with functions like energy production, transmembrane transport, and environmental response. JCVI-SYN 3.0 is 1. It is a fully living, self-replicating cell made by Craig Venter and his team, who is a pioneer in genomics. In 2010, his team synthesized a full bacterial genome and inserted it into a cell whose original DNA had been removed. This led to the birth of JCVI-SYN 3.0, a minimal bacterial cell with 473 genes, the smallest known genome of any self-replicating organism. They decided to name it synthetic Mycoplasma mycoides. This bacterium was created to understand what genes are absolutely necessary for life to function. By removing all the non-essential ones, they were able to define the basic building blocks of life. They also created a chassis, which is like a blank biological canvas they could program for specific functions, and build life from the ground up, not just edit existing DNA, but actually create a living thing with custom DNA code. Technology is slowly being integrated into our lives, and soon it will be used to enhance our bodies beyond their natural limitations. Transhumanism is a philosophical and scientific movement that advocates using technology to radically enhance human intelligence, physiology, and longevity, ultimately transcending biological limits. By this, we can cure aging, achieve biological immortality, or transfer consciousness into machines. It can also merge human brains with AI to achieve superintelligence through AI-augmented cognition. On another side note, we can also manipulate weather through geoengineering. Cloud seeding is the process of making it rain by injecting clouds with substances like silver iodide or salt particles to trigger precipitation. Cloud seeding is the process of making it rain by injecting clouds with substances like silver iodide or salt particles to trigger precipitation. The United Arab Emirates actively uses cloud seeding to increase rainfall. They even use drones to electrically stimulate clouds in recent years. China also used massive cloud seeding operations before the 2008 Beijing Olympics to prevent rain during the event. Cloud seeding partially increased rainfall by 5% to 20% in the right conditions. So, is it a good thing for humans to play God? You tell me.